This video is for the people who suffer from patellar tendonitis, which is a knee pain that's located under the patella and which develops by tendon overload. And if you click here on this video, it means that you are in the reactive phase of this type of knee pain, which is the first and most easily curable phase of all three. So you don't have to worry, we've got it in control. You don't need medical help yet with this, as opposed to the third and the most chronic phase of the patellar tendonitis, but it's actually a topic of another video, so let's get into it. If you know everything about this knee pain and you just want to know the cure for that, then skip to this time of the video where I'll go through the stretches and the exercises for that, okay? However, if you're still not sure which exact phase of patellar tendonitis you're in, then just click here to watch this video where I'll help you identify it, okay? So the thing is that you've been having this type of knee pain for a couple of days or even as long as a week. And if you ask why your knee hurts, then there's a simple answer for that. It's because you most probably took a break of sports. There was 1 or 2 weeks where you weren't doing any type of physical activity. And after your break, you probably thought that it was going to be a perfect idea to hop back to the same amount and same value of training sessions you did before the break, and basically that's why the pain set in. Listen, it's completely fine. We have all been there where we thought that we were invincible, but yeah, that's why I'm here. So what I've explained in this video, which if you haven't seen, then I completely advise you to do so, because that's the video where I'll help everyone identify their phases of patellar tendonitis. So this type of knee pain, and in general every single tendon pain, is because of inflammation, which comes from overloading the tendon. And interestingly, every single tendon inflammation works just as tolerance-based as like alcohol or cold showers or stress tolerance or literally anything in life. And simply because you take a break, your tolerance goes down, and if you hop back to the same volume or amount, then you overload yourself with that. And for example, in terms of alcohol, you can pass out or something, but in terms of your tendons, it's much more dangerous because if you don't deal with it for a long period of time, then it can lead to very, very dangerous stuff, which I'm going to explain in the third phase, which is the degenerative phase of patellar tendonitis. But if you're in this reactive phase, then it's going to be very sweet and easy to cure your knee pain, so you actually don't have to worry. Now, since you've been struggling with this type of knee pain for such a short period of time, it's going to be just perfect for you to modify your training sessions and to take some rest to cure this knee pain forever. But if you consider your knee pain very critical, then I advise you to put some ice on it. Basically 3 times 20 minutes a day are going to be just perfect to get your pain under control. But if you want to know more about reducing your pain as like a first step as much as possible, then I advise you to watch this video where I basically explained everything about that. Okay, so after you've taken your pain under control as much as possible, then I'm gonna tell you a few tips. So first, avoid jumping, seriously. Now, if you're a basketball or like a volleyball player, maybe it's very bad news for you, but for the reason why I'm saying this is very easy to understand. You pressure your patellar tendon the most when you land on the ground from a jump. I think it's very easy to understand that your patellar tendon functions like a spring. So your tendon gets loaded, like pressured the most when you land on the ground, and basically your whole body weight concentrates on that tendon. By the way, this knee pain is very common between heavy people overall, just like me. So if you're above like 90 kilograms and if you don't even jump or don't even do like hard physical activity that includes jumping, then most probably it's developed because of your body weight. So avoid jumping. Now, if you're a football player or a soccer player, then try to reduce the length of your training sessions and also tell your coach that, hey, I've been struggling with this knee pain, just let me go easy on myself for a couple of training sessions or something like that, okay? Now, if you're a runner, then reduce your running sessions lengths to 30 or 35%. If you are experiencing the same knee pain after either your training sessions or after the next morning you wake up, then just completely cut your running sessions out and do these tendon strengthening exercises that I'm gonna show in a couple of minutes. Here's the thing. The way to make this knee pain disappear forever is to build the tolerance up where it needs to be be able to keep up with your regular everyday training sessions, whether it be basketball, volleyball, football, soccer, etc., or running, just what I've said before. And I think the best exercises that both worked for me back in the day and for a lot of people with the same knee pain are wall sits, leg raises, and so-called Patrick steps. These are isometric exercises, which means holding a position against resistance, so you're definitely gonna be able to do these at home because they need nearly no extra equipment. For the leg raises, you're gonna do them 5 times 45 seconds maximum with 2-minute rests in between. The point is to warm up the tendon and also strengthen it at the same time so that it's prepared for bigger loading afterwards. I think it's very simple and easy to do, so I guess need I say more? So for the wall sits, you're gonna be doing them 5 times 30 or 45 seconds with 2-minute rests in between, with 8 or 9 out of 10 burn in the quadriceps without any pain in the patellar tendon. So if you feel some burn in your quadriceps and if you don't feel any pain in your tendon, that's just perfect. But if you do, then you're gonna have to move upwards just until you don't experience any pain. This is gonna be super helpful, so make sure you follow along and do them consistently. Now for the Patrick steps, these are basically low tolerance improvers, so there are 2 ways you can do this. For one, you're gonna need a platform to stand on, but for the other one you won't. I recommend starting out without a platform for beginners because you don't need to squat that low with this one, but if you've tested this out and if you're sure your tendons will be able to handle these other ones, then you can use a platform to stand on too. By the way, the platform ones are the harder ones, just to make it clear. The idea is to squat with your leg that hurts and reach out with your front heel as far as possible and then squat down just as much so your heel touches the ground, as I'm doing it right here, and then come back to standing, and that's it. But for the more advanced ones of you, the technique is just the same as the first one, but as I said, it's a bit harder and loads your tendon much more because you have to squat lower and lower. By the way, I recommend increasing the platform's height by 3 to 5 centimeters, or you can count by how many books you put under your foot, just like how I did at home. But the point stays the same, to strengthen your tendon back to where it needs to be. Do 3 times 15 of these, and I guarantee it's gonna help you make your problem solved with time. I recommend you doing these exercises before your training sessions, before your modified training sessions, to warm your tendons up. But if you're sensitive about these even modified training sessions, or if you're not sure whether you still are in the reactive phase of patellar tendonitis or not, then I advise you to cut every single one of your everyday regular training sessions out and do only these, what I've just shown you in this video. Now, if you want to get more in-depth help with not just patellar tendonitis, but with literally any type of knee pain in the world, or if you'd like to access the same protocol made by my former physiotherapist that I basically went through myself, then just click the link in the description and I'll see you there. Until the next video, keep your knees out of trouble and treat them like royalty.